The Seven Sins Case, Chapter 1, The First Body. Detective Anna Reed had seen many murders, but this one was different. The victim was a rich businessman named Victor Hale. He was found dead in his luxury apartment in London. There were no signs of a struggle, no signs of forced entry, no fingerprints, no weapon. Only one strange clue. On the wall above the body, someone had written a single word: greed. Anna stood silently, looking at the message.
"Do we know who did it?"
She asked.
Her partner, Detective Mark Lewis, shook his head. Nothing yet.
Enemies?
A long list. Anna nodded. Rich people often had enemies. But something about the word on the wall felt deliberate, almost like a message. Chapter 2. Another murder. 3 days later, another body was discovered. This time, the victim was a famous social media influencer named Chloe Hart. She was found dead in her penthouse apartment. Again, there were no signs of forced entry. Again, there was almost no evidence. And again, a word was written on the wall: pride. The newspapers exploded with theories. Television channels discussed the murders all day. People became afraid. Anna looked at the photographs from both crime scenes. Greed. Pride. 2 words. 2 victims. Then she suddenly understood.
The 7 deadly sins!
Mark looked at her. What?
The killer is choosing victims based on the 7 deadly sins!
Chapter 3. The Pattern. The police created a special task force. Every detective in London was working on the case. A week later, the 3rd victim appeared. A restaurant owner. The word on the wall? Gluttony. Then came the 4th. A fitness celebrity. The word? Envy. The city was terrified. 4 murders. 4 sins. The killer seemed impossible to stop. Chapter 4. The Obvious Suspect. One evening, a man walked into a police station. His name was Daniel Cross. He looked exhausted. "I have information," he said. He handed officers a notebook. Inside were newspaper articles about all 4 murders. There were notes written beside each article. Detailed notes. Very detailed notes. Almost too detailed. The police immediately arrested him. When Anna interviewed Daniel, he looked nervous.
Did you kill them?
She asked. No.
Then why do you have this notebook?
I was studying the case.
Why?
Daniel hesitated. I knew someone would blame me eventually.
Why?
His face became pale. Because my father was one of the victims. Anna stared at him.
What?
The restaurant owner. This changed everything. Chapter 5. A Strong Case. The police searched Daniel's apartment. What they found looked terrible. Books about serial killers, maps of London, articles about the 7 deadly sins. Even worse, his phone records showed that he had been near 2 crime scenes. The media immediately declared him guilty. Television reporters called him the sin killer. Most detectives believed the case was solved. But Anna was not convinced. Something felt wrong. Chapter 6. Too Perfect. Late one night, Anna sat alone in her office. The evidence against Daniel was strong. Maybe too strong. She reviewed every detail, every witness, every report, every photograph. Then she noticed something strange. Daniel's fingerprints were nowhere. Not at the crime scenes, not on any evidence, not even accidentally. A person obsessed enough to keep notes and maps would probably leave some trace. Yet there was nothing. It was almost as if someone wanted the police to find Daniel. Chapter 7. The Fifth Victim. Before the police could learn more, the killer struck again. A famous lawyer was murdered. The word on the wall? Wrath. Anna stared at the crime scene photographs. Something was different this time. The word had been written slightly differently. The handwriting was not exactly the same. Most people would never notice, but Anna did. The killer was becoming careless or tired. Chapter 8. The Connection. Anna and Mark began investigating the victims again. Not their jobs, not their money, not their public lives. Their past. That was when they found the connection. Years ago, all 5 victims had attended the same private school. Anna sat up in surprise.
There it is!
What? Mark asked.
The real connection.
The victims had never spoken publicly about their time there. But school records revealed something disturbing. 20 years earlier, a student had died. Officially, it was ruled an accident. Unofficially, many believed he had been bullied, severely bullied. Chapter 9. The Dead Boy. The boy's name was Ethan Gray. He had been 14 years old. Anna read old reports late into the night. Teachers described him as quiet, intelligent, lonely. One report mentioned repeated bullying. Another described humiliation by older students. The names of those students were familiar. Very familiar. The murder victims. Chapter 10. The Last 2 Sins. The police increased security everywhere. They knew 2 sins remained. Lust. Sloth. 2 future victims. Somewhere in London. The question was simple. Who were they? The answer came the next day. School records showed 2 former students who had also participated in bullying Ethan. One was a fashion designer. The other was a property developer. Both immediately received police protection. Chapter 11. The Real Killer. Everyone expected the killer to attack again, but Anna was focused on another question. Who was the murderer?
The obvious answer was Daniel Cross, but the timeline did not fit. Neither did the evidence. Then she discovered something shocking. Daniel had never attended Ethan's school. He had no connection to the dead boy. None at all. So why was he being framed? That evening, she reviewed Ethan Gray's family records. Then she found it. A younger sister, Sophie Gray. Anna froze. The name sounded familiar, very familiar. Then she remembered. Sophie Gray worked at the private school. She was now a school counselor. Chapter 12. The Truth. The next morning, police arrested Sophie. At first, she denied everything. Then Anna showed her the evidence. Security records, phone records, financial records. Finally, Sophie began to cry.
They destroyed him.
She whispered.
My brother.
Anna remained silent.
He came home every day afraid.
Tears rolled down her face.
Nobody helped him. You murdered 5 people. They murdered him first.
Anna shook her head.
No.
Sophie looked up.
They ruined his life. Maybe.
Anna's voice was calm.
But you ruined yours.
Chapter 13. The Final Secret. There was one mystery left. Why frame Daniel Cross? Sophie laughed sadly.
Because he was the son of one of them. The restaurant owner.
She nodded.
I wanted the police to look at him. And while they chased him, you continued killing. Yes.
Epilogue. A month later, London slowly returned to normal. The newspapers called it the 7 Sins case. Daniel Cross was released. The final 2 potential victims survived, and Sophie Gray was sent to prison. One evening, Anna and Mark sat together in a quiet cafe. "Do you think she was evil?" Mark asked. Anna thought for a long moment. Finally, she answered.
No.
Then what was she? Anna looked out the window.
A person who confused revenge with justice.
Outside, people walked through the city streets. Most of them would never know how close London had come to 7 murders. And perhaps that was for the best.